Hey, y'all, and welcome to Politibrawl. My name is Brian, and these troops are absolutely surprised when Donald Trump gives a speech to them on Thanksgiving. I can't wait for this kind of commander in chief to be back in office. But before we dive in, I want to give a quick shout out to our great sponsors over at Colonial Metals Group. Even though Trump won the election, you need to protect your wealth backed by gold and other precious metals, but more on that later. Now, let's dive in.
This evening, as millions of families sit down at their dinner tables back home, they'll be saying a prayer for the men and women serving our nation in Afghanistan and deployed all around the globe. Great men and women all around the globe. Many are coming home. Our citizens know that you're standing guard, killing terrorists, crushing our enemies, and keeping America safe, really safe. But you're also keeping it strong and proud and mighty and free. And I'm here today to just really say happy Thanksgiving, but also thank you very much. Great job. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. Appreciate it. Very much appreciate it. As president, I have no higher honor than to serve as commander-in-chief of the United States military, the greatest force for peace and justice in the history of the world. In the 18 years since the attacks of September 11th, thousands of American patriots have left their everyday lives and cherished loved ones, put on their uniforms, and flown here to Afghanistan. Some of our brave warriors have made the ultimate sacrifice. We honor their memory today, and we will always honor their memory. Like all of them, each of you came to do your duty. You came to defend American liberty. You came because our nation needed you, and they needed you right here. The men and women of our military are totally loyal to our country, and every day I am president, America will always be totally loyal to you. I just want to finish by saying that with your courage, we will continue to pursue America's enemies to the ends of the earth, greatest in the world. We will chase them down. We will get the terrorists. We will break their will. We will not give them rest. No break and no way out. They won't have a chance. As long as America's soldiers, sailors, airmen, Coast Guardsmen, and Marines are on the mission, our nation's adversaries do not have even a small hope of victory. Together, we will preserve our freedom, we will protect our homeland, and we will always defend and honor our great American flag. I want to thank you, Bagram Air Base. This is a special place, a place that everybody talks about in our country. What you've done here and what you've built here is powerful. And I just want to say next year we'll be having Thanksgiving together, maybe back in the United States, because you've done so much work here and you've done it well. God bless you. God bless our great country. God bless everybody in this room. Be safe. I will see you very soon. We will be back. We'll be back, and we are coming back as a country like nobody has ever seen. When I'm greeted, and I'm often greeted by leaders of the world, they start off by saying two things. Congratulations on what you've done with your country from an economic standpoint. We've never seen anything like it. And, sir, congratulations on rebuilding your military, and that's what we've done. God bless you all. Thank you very much. Thank you.
On one hand, pretty good speech, but man, did he have to bring up Bagram Air Force Base. Man, I'm still never going to get over the images of people on the runway trying to flag down a C-130 as it's the last airplane to take off, and people falling from the landing gear from at least a couple thousand feet up in the air. I will forever be haunted by those images, and I'm not a veteran. I can't imagine what it's like to know that you had to leave the land that you had fought, where you had literally shed blood. You lost friends. You saw one of your buddies got blown up by a roadside bomb and barely lived to tell the tale. And then we turn tail and run in the worst possible manner, leaving allies, friends, and people who would rather be in the United States behind because they know how bad the Taliban is. That has been the legacy of the past two Democrat presidents. Joe Biden had a terrible withdrawal policy, and he claims, oh, this was the Trump plan. Okay, then why didn't you fix any of the problems? That's your job. The buck stops with you. And then under the Obama administration, the military started to dilapidate a little bit. Now, granted, it didn't fall behind anyone else, but they fell behind their own standards. And so Trump was able to get in there and revamp part of the military, and that's exactly what he's talking about here. Hey, y'all, I'm not exactly looking at retirement anytime soon, but my parents are, and friends of my parents are, and I'm sure either you or someone you know is looking at retirement and wondering, what do I do? How do I help prepare for this in this economy with this terrible president and with a vice president who basically coup d'etat him and is now looking to run for president herself? How do you protect against this? Well, simple. You go over to my friends at Colonial Metals Group. They quite literally have something called the Retirement Package Plan. This plan backs your wealth with gold and silver accounts. And furthermore, you will have direct access to these accounts. So you're not at the whims of Wall Street. You're not at the whims of inflation. You are in command of your own destiny. As a bonus, qualified applicants can receive up to $10,000 in free silver, plus a couple of other little goodies that they're going to package up for you, and you're going to be able to protect your wealth and your retirement. So go over to this link in the description below at colonialmetalsgroup.com or call this number 800-203-0422 and see how they can help you prepare for retirement today by backing your account with gold and silver. Don't delay your retirement, folks. Protect the money that you earned with Colonial Metals Group. They're here to help. Y'all, we know that Trump isn't the most eloquent. I don't expect him to give a Gettysburg Address, and I certainly don't expect him to give the speech that preceded the Gettysburg Address, although he does in some fashion, because the sort of a little-known fact in history is that Abraham Lincoln's speech was 2.5 minutes. The guy before him spoke for 2.5 hours. Now, Trump can do that at his rallies, but it's more of a stand-up kind of deal where he's trying to figure out what the audience likes and doesn't like. This is a little bit different here. This isn't about what the audience likes and doesn't like. This is about him paying tribute to the men and women who have the guts to go overseas and protect our interests. And see, the ugly truth about American foreign policy is that it's all to protect the American dollar. At one point, I used to joke that our servicemen and women, and I mean this only in a joking matter, that they fought to protect our dollar menu. Well, they fought to do that, and now the dollar menu doesn't exist anymore. Trump did help reinvigorate the military. And I think he's going to do that again to some degree. But it's going to be under different circumstances now that there's way more pressure going on with the war in Ukraine, the war in Gaza, and of course the threatening of war in Taiwan. And that hits home for me because I know a handful of people that live in Taiwan, missionaries, good people who love the Taiwanese people, and the Taiwanese people seem to love their freedom. And it terrifies me of what happens when the CCP tries to invade that. So Trump's going to be staring down a gauntlet, and he's going to need a good military behind him. And he believes in our servicemen and women. And I truly believe he does. And right there at the end of the speech, you'll hear him sort of talk about himself and how great leaders of the world just congratulate me on the great job I've done. But that's because I want to make the military great again. That's on one hand, people I can understand seeing that as arrogant. But that's not what Trump's aiming at. That's not what Trump's trying to say. What he's saying is the same thing as politicians using themselves in older stories when they met someone important or they were a witness to a very key point in history. That's sort of the same thing going on here. And it's just Trump being Trump in this regard. So I don't see this as arrogant. I see this as trying to wrap up a point, and that is that the military was not strong under Obama, but it became stronger under Trump, and it got weaker under Joe Biden. And so it's time to make our military strong again. It is time to use the projection of power to once again herald some peace and order to this chaotic world. I believe that America did that at one time. I think we can do it again. And Trump has that kind of visual mentality, and I think that will come to fruition starting in this January. Folks, my name is Brian. Hope you enjoyed that segment here on Politibrawl. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Catch you on the next one. And until then, y'all have a good one.